We were hoping for good news in this story, but we got a tragic update just a short time ago on the search for 9 missing skiers who were caught in what's called a perfect storm avalanche in Northern California. We have learned that 8 of them have been found. They did not survive this avalanche despite huge efforts by rescue teams to find them in time. This now is the deadliest avalanche in the United States since 1981, when 11 people were killed in an avalanche at Mount Rainier, Washington. It started early yesterday, around 11 o'clock yesterday morning, in the rugged, remote backcountry of an area called Castle Peak, which is near Lake Tahoe. This is a very popular area with camping grounds for backcountry skiers. This region was under an avalanche alert warning at the time. Snow was falling up to 4 inches per hour, and in some places they logged 100-mile-per-hour winds. Senior correspondent Claudia Cowan reporting live from Sausalito, California. Hi, Claudia.
Hi, Martha. This tragic news coming just about 24 hours after this avalanche happened in the Truckee-Donner backcountry. All 9 of those missing skiers perished in this avalanche, and now this has become a recovery operation.
8 of the 9 additional skiers have been located deceased. We are still looking for one of the members at this time. Due to the ongoing challenges of the weather, the avalanche conditions, the effort remains ongoing, as well as our search for the remaining skier, but the weather is a factor.
The dead include 7 women and 2 men. None of the deceased have been identified, but this tragedy has hit close to home for Nevada County officials, who confirm one of the victims is the spouse of one of the Nordic search and rescue team members. It is nothing short of a miracle that 6 other skiers were rescued last night after using their emergency beacons to send text messages and get help. Rescue teams used a snowcat to travel 2 miles and then had to jump on skis to avoid another avalanche to get to those survivors. They include 5 women and 1 man, ranging in age from 30 to 55 years old. 5 were clients on a backcountry ski trip, and the 6th was a tour guide. 2 of the survivors couldn't walk on their own and were taken to the local hospital. 1 has already been released. Officials say the avalanche happened at around 11:30 yesterday morning, when an avalanche warning was in effect. 4 guides with 11 clients were returning from a 3-day winter camping trip in Castle Peak, a popular backcountry ski area near the city of Truckee in Lake Tahoe. With more snow on the way and the continued threat of more avalanches, authorities say it's imperative people stay off the roads and out of the area. Dozens of first responders are still braving fierce winter weather and whiteout conditions to locate that 9th victim, hopefully before the next blizzard moves in just a matter of hours. Martha.
So, Claudia, just to confirm, you said that one of those who was killed was the spouse of one of the people on the rescue operation. Is that correct?
It's unclear if this person was part of this rescue operation, but one of the deceased is the spouse of a member of the Nordic search and rescue team. That's what we learned during that press conference.
Just one other question. Am I hearing you correctly that of the survivors, one of them was a guide, and that would mean that 3 of the other guides were with the other group? Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct from what we are learning from the Nevada County Sheriff. So it appears that 3 of those guides have perished.
All right, Claudia, thank you very much. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin climbed Mount Everest back in May, the tallest mountain in the world, 29,000 feet. He is certified in avalanche rescue. His new Fox Nation special, Cattle Drive American Cowboy, is out now. He also has one about the Mount Everest climb on Fox Nation as well. Mike, this is such a terribly tragic story. And, you know, I just want to read a couple of stats, Mike, and then I want to get your take on this. These are some avalanche facts from the U.S. Forest Service. A large avalanche in North America might release 300,000 cubic yards of snow, which is the equivalent of 20 football fields filled 10 feet deep. with snow. I just think it gives us a bit of an indication of what this is like. And it says it's like broken glass as it races downhill, and the hazard can travel at up to 100 miles an hour down the hill once it starts moving. Your thoughts on this situation and what it was like when these people were out there, Mike?
Well, first of all, there's not a lot of reason for optimism in terms of this one person that they're still looking for. When there's an avalanche, someone who gets trapped in the snow, there generally isn't much of an air pocket around their head, so they'll run out of air pretty quickly. And they're packed in ice. And this is someone who's been packed in ice now for more than 24 hours. That's the reason that most of us learn avalanche rescue, to go out in these areas, because if someone needs help, they need it right away. And the fact that they're still looking for this individual isn't good. They talked about the perfect storm, the conditions out there. You had a bunch of snow early in the season in the Lake Tahoe area, and then you had the wind and the sun baking it to a weak layer. They talk about facets. It was like a layer of crispy treats, and then you had freezing rain, which made like a slick cookie sheet on top of it. So you had a slick cookie sheet, and then you had all the new snow that came down on top, pressed down on there, and that made just perfect conditions for that stuff to just rip off the top. And those people down below, it was either a very big avalanche or they were all standing in one group, for the fact that everybody got hit at the same time. Usually we try to spread out when we're in the backcountry like that.
Yeah, so these people were staying in, it's my understanding this was the last day of a 3-day trip that they took. They were with 4 guides, and they ski the backcountry basically all day long. Then they come back and have lunch. They go back and have dinner after that. It sounds like under good circumstances, it's a terrific way to spend some time in the great outdoors. But they were out there under very difficult conditions. There was an avalanche alert that was underway there, Mike. Your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, just because there was new snow, it doesn't necessarily mean that there were avalanche conditions. But in this case, there was. The avalanche danger was rated high by the Sierra Avalanche Center there. And the guides would have known that. And they were on their way out when they got hit by this avalanche. Yeah. So it's quite possible they thought, OK, we've done the hard part. We're on our way out. But, they clearly were in the path of an avalanche. We'll see how they got hit, but they probably got hit somewhere near the bottom of the avalanche. We'll see when all the facts get out there. But they probably thought they were safe. It sounds like they were together. And the fact that some of them have been saved, usually when we go out in the backcountry, we'll wear a beacon. And essentially, it's a little electronic box that sends out a signal that says, I'm here. And that is how they were able to find these 8 decedents, because they still had those beacons on that were telling people where they were located under the snow, and they could find those people. We don't know the details about the 6 people who survived, but it's quite possible that some of them, at least we know that one guide survived, so he would have been skilled in trying to track them down underneath the snow, because he could find them with that avalanche beacon.
And I would imagine anyone who goes out in the backcountry, you're going to have equipment with you, a beacon with you, a small, usually like collapsible shovel, and that kind of thing. But it's very difficult, as you say, Mike, to survive this. And the statistics show that 25 to 30% of the fatalities in avalanche situations are due to the trauma, breaking limbs right when the slide happens. So that makes it very difficult, obviously, to try to climb out of this situation, even if there is a pocket.
And what comes down, you think it was all soft snow as it comes down, but it's the consolidated layer that comes down. So when the avalanche occurs, people get hit by big blocks of ice and big chunks of snow. It's not a powdery environment, and then they get caught in the cement mixer, particularly as the avalanche starts to slow down. I've had some friends who ended up, luckily, with their heads and shoulders above the snow when the avalanche stopped, but not. That's an anomaly. Most people aren't that lucky.
Yeah. Mike Tobin, trained in avalanche rescue. And obviously, for those people, for the 9, it sounds like this was a very tragic situation. And we're grateful for the other 6 who survived, including one guide, as Claudia Cowan has reported. It was no snow out west for most of this winter, and then they got hit very, very hard in this region in recent days. Mike Tobin, thank you very much. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on this with us, Mike.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.